This Sponge Pocky Aqua Axie is one of my new favorite Axies to play. The combination of Shipwreck with high shields and Sugar Rush with insane damage is just awesome. It destroys tons of opposing Axies. I've combined it with this bug from a video that I showed last week, and it's working much better than the previous team. This bug is awesome, and combined with this fish, it's a great combination. So let me take this team build, send it into the arena, and show you what it's capable of. Let's go. In the first match of the day, I found myself up against a double aqua plant team. Now, these double aqua teams are pretty common in Season 20. I'm seeing a lot of double aqua. Looking at Axie Labs, double aqua plant is actually the most popular team in the top 400 right now. So you're going to see a lot of this. Notably, they're also using Soothing Song on the midline fish. My draw doesn't have a lot of defensive cards, and they do have a fairly aggressive lineup, so I decided to go aggro on turn 1. This pays off pretty well since they don't shield up the plant. All they do is play a cactus, so I get good value on these attacks, and I also get some shields and the mosquito heal, so this fish attack on turn 1 for them gets very low value. Honestly, for my opponent trying to attack my plant like that, you know you're not going to get a kill. It's not that effective. I could kettle, I could mosquito. I don't think they made the right play there. On round 2, it's kind of awkward because their plant has 218 health. I have 2 energy. Here's a tip for this kind of spot. When you go aggro turn 1 and then you don't have quite enough damage to comfortably kill them on turn 2, just pass. In this case, I have plus attack and Pocky. I have Sugar Rush. It's a lot of damage, right? It's a lot of damage right there. So I could do it. I could attack. But even with that, I choose to rest. They play 2 cards. They get the hot butt shields, but I don't attack into it. And I'm just waiting, saving up my energy for round 3 when I have 4 energy. Now I'm much more comfortable going for an attack. I decide to try to get value. I made a read that they would rest. Unfortunately, they have both Soothing Songs, which is the worst case scenario. They make a bizarre play. Soothing, Nemo, Soothing. I've never seen that one before. It does kill my plant. And so while we do get a Pocky on their plant, we don't end up getting the kill. I was hoping to have a little more damage and maybe they wouldn't shield up again. So the plant lives. Now at this point, I'm not very happy because I am down 2-3. I do end up playing 3 cards on my bug, getting some shields and going for the kill. And luckily my opponent does not opt into the double pumpkin. If they double pumpkin there, I wouldn't have killed. They also didn't have enough damage to kill my bug. That was a tricky turn. Only using 3 cards is not as much shield as I want, but I had to go for it, and it worked out. Now, this round, round 5, is very important. Listen, most bugs should have Fish Snack. Because I don't have Fish Snack, it's really hard to survive against a fish. Luckily, my opponent is low on cards and low on energy. Even so, you can see that I do a full 4-card attack with maximum shields. I probably should have used both mosquitoes, both blood tastes, to be honest, just get the full heal. But at least I discard their last card, I put up those shields, I get a little heal, I do some damage. I am not holding back. When your bug is exposed, especially against double fish, especially when they could start to redraw Soothing Song and ignore my shields, like that one turn where the shields count, I have to make them count a lot. We do a little bit of cleanup. I set up my Nemo with 1 in front and 1 in back. It's not as much damage as I would like to throw, but they don't have a lot of shields. They were unlikely to shield up enough where I wouldn't kill them. Still, I cut it a little bit close. And on round 7, I'm way ahead. I knew my opponent didn't have a lot of cards, and while I couldn't tell what cards they had exactly, I was pretty confident that if I just went in with a full 4-card attack now, I could defend enough to survive next turn because they wouldn't have enough cards. Maybe I should have attacked twice on turn 7 and then 4 times on turn 8. Maybe. Anyway, it does work out though, and here's your sponge value right at the end. With 198 shields, there's really no 4 cards they could have that would kill me. I mean, that huge shield of 90 on Shipwreck is just fantastic, and we are going to get through. It is a little bit close, but I have +2 attack from the shields breaking from Shipwreck's effect, so we get the victory. Good match. This match features a Bird Beast plant team. Kind of interesting. Shroom's Grace plant. We don't see those too often, but Shroom's Grace is a pretty good move. I don't know about playing it up front, but hey. The bigger deal is the Early Bird on the Dark Swoop Axie. Early Bird is a very strong attack on a 61 speed bird. 120% damage along with 110 base damage and the same type bonus. It's a lot. Now, one thing I want to talk about right here is the Cattail Slap. These days, it's pretty common to save Cattail Slap until round 2. The reasoning is that players will often not have a good turn 1 attack. Take a look at my opponent's hand here, for example. Nutcrack, double Ivory Stab. These 3 cards will not kill the plant. You won't get any Ivory Stab value. The critical strike gaining 1 energy. Not unless you get a lucky crit, but you're not guaranteeing it. the way you would with the single combat, the Ronin. There's a lot of spots like this where you might not get cattail value on turn 1 because they won't attack. However, if I have more than 2 cards on the plant, I'll still usually play it turn 1. My reasoning is that if they kill the plant early, I get those cards back and I get some counterplay. And if they don't, it's only 1 card that I'm using. I don't know, just my approach. So I do play it on turn 1 here. I do play it. And we get a little bit of damage. They pass. In round 2, I go for it again, but this time using a Kettle and Aqua Stock. However, they get the round 2 Dark Swoop. This is not cool. I have a Pocky, a Risky Fish, and a Nemo on my SpongeBob Aqua. I also wanted to use the match to show off how Shipwreck can block back doors. We don't get the chance. They hit me on round 2. I know I'm explaining a lot, but something else I want to say is after analyzing top 100 players, they really don't avoid backdoors on round 1 or 2. I'm sure there's some exceptions, but generally, top 100 players just rest and don't give a fuck. They assume the opponent won't have it. If you get unlucky, so be it. So I do not regret this, and it's important not to have 2020 hindsight syndrome. Don't like, oh, I should have known. You can't always be sure. That's a lucky draw. They won't have it that often. With that said, we do lose the fish. It's round 3, and now I really want to use this turnip to stop the bird from killing my bug later. I also need to kill the beast. It's going to deal with my plant. It's not looking great, you know? I decide to go for a kill, hoping the plant won't be able to heal, but it does indeed heal. I use 1 turnip because I still have another one to deal with the bird. Still got another turnip. So I think it's okay, right? We don't get the kill. We take him at 173. The match is not going great, but I do have a sick turnip play here. And as you see, we are trading. They take my plant. I take my bird. Unfortunately, they have more cards, a little more energy, 3 Axies, about to be 2. They're a little bit ahead of me. I don't know. The only thing I'm hoping at this point is that my bug has a good matchup, right? We can kill the plant with good damage, and then against the beast, maybe if their draws aren't that good, there's a hope and a prayer. On round 5, I make a difficult decision to rest because I only have 2 energy. I just need to build up resources, and this is honestly not the worst. This double chomp play on round 6 from their plant is not the worst. We are stunned, but I have 4 energy, and this round I'm sweating bullets. As you can see, they had so many beast cards, but they only had 2 energy, and they end up resting. So I'm hoping maybe I can discard both the Nutcracks, or I didn't know what they had, but just like some good stuff. Discard enough that they won't have a chance to kill me next turn. Win on the discards. It just wasn't going to happen, though. I was too far behind. So we did see a cool turnip play, got to see some value, but they just had their bird backdoor way too early. This one comes out an L, but I have no regrets. If you get turn 2 backdoored by the bird, you just say that's okay. I'm not afraid to rest. I'll do it again. The meta is really diverse right now, as you can tell. This is a completely different team. Now we have a plant with a turnip in the front and a dull grip fish, and then this interesting reptile in the back. Disarm, Biden's, Tiny Swing, Chomp. Not an easy team, but I do have a good amount of damage I can use to take them out. I'm feeling okay. On turn 1, I decide to just shield up a little bit after some, clicking on different cards. I end up just aqua stocking, some shield, and we get 2 energy off of that. Their fish runs into it. My reasoning was that with this move set, they're pretty likely to attack on turn 1. I know if I was them and I had both Risky Fish and Dull Grip on turn 1, I'd probably want to use them. So they ended up using a Nemo. They tried to get it. I get the energy. It's pretty good. And on turn 2, I squeeze in a Cactus. A little bit ambitious, but I do get that damage. On round 3, I've built up 7 energy. I've done some damage to their plant. They're ahead of me on the board, though. My plant's down to 213 health. A lot of cards. These are where the spots can be tough to think through. 7 energy, 9 cards to play, and 1 card that I can't play. It's not easy to figure out what to do. I end up using my fish cards and my bug cards, but just enough to try to kill. I'm trying to get value and save cards on the fish for later in the match. It's a tough spot because I want to use the fish cards now to kill the plant, but I need to build up for the end game because I know they don't have back doors. My fish is going to be the last one standing. They end up clearing my frontline plant pretty quickly, but these turnips are mostly for defense, so they don't end up doing very much damage to my bug, especially because we use double third glance and those shields do stack up pretty well. At this point, I'm feeling pretty exposed, 348 health on the bug, and we're in front with a fish right here ready to attack potentially. It's not my favorite position. I end up just using Pocky. I knew they had 2 energy, so they couldn't kill my bug, and I just decided to try to use this turn to get ahead. If they had attacked my bug, I would have been in really bad shape. But I end up getting through. I'm kind of impressed at myself watching that turn back. Good play, me. Good play. And on round 4, I need all the shields. Now I'm terrified. It's the opposite of round 4. They have 4 energy, and I know they can go after me. So I put up 280 shield. As it turns out, I could have gotten away with Mosquito. The 40 shields would have still been enough, but it was going to be really close. I decide not to heal just so I can have the absolute maximum shields, since my bug needs to survive in order to attack at all. If I got killed, the Mosquito wouldn't get to heal anyway. So I decided to max out the shields. We kill the fish. You can notice that this damage, being reptile and plant type, makes it actually pretty easy to kill these fish. One of the weird things about this bug that it can actually kill fish pretty well because the shields are insane and it has good damage. This is one of the reasons why Gila might actually work, at least in this weird build, is that while Fish Snack is better for defense because it has the stun, this has really good attack, way better than Fish Snack. And on round 6, I make a mistake. I don't know why I did this. I try to shield up. It was not likely to work. They used double Tiny Dino. They also could have used a Chomp combo. I shouldn't have done it. And just like that, I've thrown away 3 energy. Oh my god. This ending needs to be seen to be believed. I was a little bit unsure. I start out by shielding up pretty heavily, and it's a good start. They use Disarm, which is their move that slows my fish down, and they have to use both of them to go first next turn because the speed difference is pretty massive. They do use both, though, and on round 8, I go for the kill. They stun me, and I don't play around it. So my Pocky, which would have been boosted, just misses, and now they only have, that much damage, 247 health remaining. I was pissed. I thought the match was over, dude. I was fucking annoyed, to put it mildly. However, watch this beautiful round 9. 1 health, baby. 1 health and a dream. We go first next turn, even though we have -1 speed. Again, they have 44 speed. I have 55. We're 1 speed away from this being enough. I'm able to go first. I kill him with 2 well-placed Pockies, and that's a win. Oh my god. Here's a quick marketplace check. If you filter for the best stats, the cheapest you'll find is about $107 or 0.04 ETH. If I reset the speed filter, you can see that there's some for cheaper, but because this build has no speed ups, no fin, no koi, I really recommend you do not buy a speed scuffed version. I mean, there's only a couple anyway. I would shell out the full 0.04 if at all possible. I think it's worth it though. It's a pretty good build. How is this for a double aqua plant? They have a Razorbite plant with cattail, scarab, and wooden stab. That's insane. They've got the classic Arco fish. It's really strong with the Nemo. And then this swallow, spiky wing, hero's bane, upstream swim in the back. This is a crazy endgame fish. I was pretty worried. I decided to go for a single cactus first. Notice I have no other plant cards, so I think I want to play this now. If they do play aggressive, my plant might not be able to survive to the end of round 2. I want to get some cactus value early. They won't shield up that often on round 1, and sure enough, here I get the damage in. Round 2, I end up using some of this Risky Fish Pocky combo to really try to push through damage. They shield up a decent amount, so it doesn't work very well. I'm also using up my back-end cards early when they have no back doors, so this could bite me later in the match when I don't have as many cards saved up. Nonetheless, I am able to take out their plant, and it is really good because if they had the ability to play 1 more card, they had a Scarab left to play, but they ran out of Last Stand. Without that, they would have killed my plant. Instead, I'm able to play Cattail, and they do double Nemo, but at least they're running low on cards. Their Scarab draws me a card with my Cattail, and I'm starting to build some resources to try to get an advantage. My opponent does have 5 energy, which is a lot, but as you can see, I'm going to shield up heavily on the bug. The bug is always shielding up a lot in this spot. You're going to see me do this over and over. When the bug is exposed and I have plenty of energy left, I'm going to use it. I'm going to play the cards. I'm going to shield up. In this case, I probably should have used Mosquito. I'm being a little too careful. The Mosquito can give me a heal, and they didn't have enough damage, but they could have played a little more aggressively, especially if they had a different draw. So I'm just being super cautious, but I think in spots like this, I should use a Mosquito rather than the second turnip, just so I could have gotten the heal. Anyway, we at least get some really good damage, and actually, in this case, they use Scarab, so maybe I played it correctly, Mosquito would have been the same amount of damage and some chance of a heal, but nah, the Scarab means maybe double turnip was correct. You know, I'm just realizing it now as I talk about it. At this point, I knew the bug was done. All I had is one mosquito left. I can't defend against their fish, so they kill my bug, and Hero's Bane shuts down the last stand. Don't forget the effect end target's last stand. It's cool to see the effect get used, not on my team though, not against me. And at this point, I'm hoping I can figure it out. I'm trying to balance the draws, the shields, the damage, set myself up for a potential turn 2 play. Maybe they don't have Koi, Copium. Well, they do. They have double Koi. They're faster than me on round 6. I have 87 health left. Spiky Wing is so good. It's hard to get these fish with Spiky Wing. They're expensive. I don't think they're very common. Oh, but this one with Swallow is insane. I just couldn't get through it. So we do take the L on this match. I think I played it pretty well, honestly. Just a very tough matchup. Meh. The cruelest matchup ever is against the discard bugs. I do a turn 1 cattail against this thing. I mean, you could save the cattail until turn 2, which some people do. We talked about it. I probably should have. In this case, they don't discard anything. Man, let me just say, quadruple discard bugs. Look, if you only have 3 Axies and you bought this and you're using it to farm, I respect it. I did it at one time. But if you own like 10 or 20 Axies and you're running quadruple discard, the 2 bugs with 2 discards each, just don't do it. Come on, man. It's not fun for anybody. Are you really going to spend your last season of Axie playing a team like this? If you own options, you have other ideas you can play with, don't do the discard bugs, at least not too much. I hate this shit. It's just, whatever. We got owned. We got owned by this one. Like, ugh. It's just so much RNG, dude. It's just so much RNG. I'm over it, man. I don't want to deal with this shit. We did get a nice crit here. I wish I could pretend it mattered, but look, I have no cards. I hate this, dude. I deserve it because I played bugs. One of my biggest Axie videos so far was a Season 19 double bug video, but ugh. Just ugh. It's not fun. I ended up conceding this one on round 6. Kind of a shame, but hey. We got 5 good matches in with the team. As you can see, the Shipwreck fish is a much better fit for the bug than the previous build I showed last week. So I'm loving it. Goliath bugs, still a ton of fun. And I'm going to keep experimenting. But as of now, that's all I got. So thanks. See you next time.